don't overthink it. Just do. That's the most simplest advice I could give you. Back when I think around 15, I had a presentation to do in class, and well, like the procrastinator I am, I didn't do shit. I didn't flipping revise, I didn't look at the paper or the topic of that matter. And when it was my turn to present, well, my heart was racing. I had shallow breaths. I was sweating a lot. I was mumbling. I was stuttering. I couldn't even hold eye contact. And I spoke with a lot of breath, man. I was a train wreck. And if that was you in any other activity, then you are definitely outside of your zone. See, you're nervous, but you might be wondering how. Well, you were not used to the environment or the element, the activity maybe. See, when you're trying something new, there are two things that could happen. Either one, you do flipping well, or two, you flipping suck. And unfortunately for me, I suck. You were not used to doing this type of thing. And yes, I've been doing this for a while, but I never really revised or really purposely do it in my own accord because, well, I procrastinated. But that's besides the point. I was nervous because I wasn't used to the subject or the topic that I was supposed to present. I wasn't used to the class I was presenting. Hell, I wasn't even used to everything because I wasn't really presenting that much, you know? And because of that, I began to have doubt. You see, when you have doubt, or when I had doubt, I realized that the reason why I'm doubting myself is because I did not put in my self-worth into the activity. See, if I did, I wouldn't be feeling nervous. I wouldn't be doubting myself. I would be average in performance, I preserve. I suppose maybe in execution, maybe. I'm not sure. It did not happen, and that's why I'm here. I was doubtful because I did not put my self-worth into the activity that I was supposed to do. And because of that, I began shutting down. See, any activity that's outside your zone could be the breakthrough for you in your life. You could become a diamond, but since I couldn't handle the pressure, I shut down. I had to take multiple briefers. I'll probably be the student with the longest presentation time. So that's what I experienced outside my zone. Well, what's inside of the zone? Well, number one is routine. See, you are so used to the same details that you can't digest new details. It's like eating junk food your whole entire life, and then you have to eat your veggies, your greens, and it just seems unappetizing. It doesn't seem good to eat. And to be honest, it is not really that tasty, but broccoli for some reason tastes flipping good. I don't know why. And because you're so used to the same details, to the same day, to the same activity that you do nearly every day, you gain confidence. The thing about confidence is that it's like a bubble and you're underwater. See, you're safe, you are able to breathe in, but once that bubble pops, you gotta learn how to swim or you drown. And that's outside of the zone. The water is outside of the zone because you are not used to the water. You are not used to the green veggies. You're not used to having new changes in your life. Lastly, what I believe is the final part of the zone that's inside, that it's familiar. You have people in your life that's familiar, that you see nearly every day, or maybe once a week, maybe a month. At the end of the day, you still see them. But it's like sleeping in a new place. Yes, it will take a while, but after a few days, it's like sleeping in your old place. Familiarize with that new bed, and because of that, it's now part of your routine. Now that we have both sides of the zones, the only thing we can do is reach between both of those. And the only way to do that is with baby steps. You see, you gotta start small if you want to make it big. You can't do a whole leap of faith ruins your progress entirely. You need to have baby steps. You need to have certain small actions that you, in your perspective, believe that it is right. That this will ultimately lead you to a benefit. You see, you can't change from having a red room to a blue room. It doesn't happen instantly. No, you need to paint your walls. And painting your walls is the baby steps. It may take flipping hours, maybe, depending on what you do. But hey, at the end of the day, painted your room blue. And I believe that it is something everyone should really do, to be honest. Sure, it's outside your zone, but it's baby steps. You're reaching out outside of your bubble, out of that barrier, and see if it's safe. Grabbing on something you can see. And once you do, and once you start having those baby steps, you need to go further, build that momentum, keep going. Once you get something right, keep going for it. See, I'm a long time YouTube watcher, and one of my favorites is Jacksepticeye, and the one quote I always remember is speed is key. See, if you have something good, why not just keep doing it? Keep improving on it. Stack up those wins, and you will see those wins will speed up your progress. And if you have speed, you are ultimately better than who you were before. Because let's face it, if you start slow, it will take longer for you to be fast. And you might be wondering, what if I start fast? Well, it depends on what you're doing. Is that fast action a baby step or not? It will be something of your judgment, of course. And to be honest, it's a risk that you are 100% sure are fine with taking that risk, no matter what those consequences come with that result, I mean. And finally, you need to have accountability. You can go as far as you want, how high as you want, but if you aren't doing what you're supposed to do, then it's just wasted energy. You need someone or something to remind you on what you're doing this for. It could be a paper behind your door. It could be something on the wall. It could be your wallpaper on your phone or your monitor. It has to be something that you can see clearly and remind you of why you're doing it. So we have a nice little bridge, but as you know, it'll crumble over time. We just have to improve the bridge. We need to improve the foundation. How can we do that? Well, we need to have goals. See, having a timer countdown instead of a stopwatch counting up is better because one, you know when it's gonna end. You see when it's gonna end. You know when you're gonna reach it. Instead of a stopwatch, it just keeps counting upwards. What are you counting upwards for? With the money, it could be steps, it could be anything. But the thing is, it's going up. I personally believe that timers are ultimately something that you should use more often because it's falling down, it's descending instead of ascending. We can look up to the skies, but we cannot see what's beyond those skies. Where else we can look down and see the ground? Be grounded on what you're trying to do. And it could be a day, it could be a countdown, a clock, or sweet, a calendar. You can count down the days until that deadline happens. How about count up the days? That doesn't really work. Goals are timers that you cannot time. It is a timer without time. It's weird, right? Having a goal is your zero marker. It is when the alarm goes off. But you need to do in the work. You need to put in the effort at the right direction with accountability to do so. Because that is your time. The moment you start and the moment you reach that goal, that is the total time you have. For you, you are the stopwatch. But for your goal, you are the countdown. Your actions are counting down to that goal. If you did all of that and you can't reach it, well, you need to take note. You are not going to go to the peak easily. No, nothing can do that. Maybe Lego pieces, but that's about it because you have a manual. Nothing is going to be. You need to take notes. Anything can be a note taken. It's just your perspective that's filtering that note, that information. See, it's like looking into a forest. You can walk or zoom in closer to the leaf, but you cannot see the branches or the trees. If you zoom out or walk away, you'll see them, but you cannot see the leaves closely in their detail. You just need to filter out what you need to do, what you perceive you need to do, and improve it. You cannot have a weak aspect that you haven't done it yet. You could, take a detour, use a different aspect that's related or could potentially help strengthen the weaker asset, It's something like that. And because of that, you can improve any aspect you fitted in or try something new that could benefit you. It's not black and white, of course, but you need to know when and what is weak and how can you strengthen it. You need to take note on what you're doing. Don't go hyper obsessive with the details. You just need to take note on what you're doing, what action you're doing, really, and see if you can think of or view things in a different light or a different perspective. Sometimes, in order to see a secret in a game, you just need to move your camera outside of you. Just do it, okay? Just do it. Don't overthink it. You won't know what's outside of your zone or in it unless you try. Make sure to sub and like, and I'll see you all later. Good night.